all kinds of different angles about sex and power.
Oh.
Lots of stories about sex and power.
Okay.
And we're going to kick it off. For those of you, I know there's a lot of people out there that do not give one speck of a crap about the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds saga. But this is a very interesting analysis by Batya Ungar Sargon about how this story itself may be what finally puts the nail in the coffin of the Me Too movement. And I really liked her analysis. She apparently wrote a whole piece about this. And here she is to explain right here.
So you see the man bun there in full display on your screen. Justin Baldoni literally wrote the book on beta maledom. He wrote a book called Undefining My Masculinity or something like that. He wrote another children's book called Boys Will Be Humans. His whole public persona as a celebrity was an ally of women, and this ended up being a key to his downfall here when Blake Lively, sensing his weakness, started to bully him on the set of his own film, demanding the right to rewrite scenes, demanding the right to have her own edit of the film. And then finally, when she was hit with a ton of negative press when the film came out for the way she was handling herself and some old clips in which she was fat shaming a reporter, she then argued that he had, sexually harassed her in an attempt to launder her image by becoming the victim. She cast herself as the victim of a Me Too scandal and cast him as the aggressor. Unfortunately, a more beta male you couldn't have found. I mean, he had all of the receipts showing that in every interaction, she had the power and he hadn't. And what I argue in the Free Press piece is that basically this is not just the end of the Me Too movement, but it's the end of this kind of man bun ally feminism, because what we really see here, Rita, is that the problem with the Me Too movement, the problem with Believe All Women, is that the relationship between sexuality and power is very, very complicated. It cannot be reduced to just who is the woman and who is the man. And in this case, the man was the one being bullied, the woman being the one bullying him. And when that was revealed, she claimed the victim status and it fell on its face.
It sure has. Yep.
I love that analysis. It was so good.
I don't know if it's going to make man buns go away, though. And I don't know if the soy boys are actually going to go away just yet. I mean, it would be nice if that were the case, but I feel like there's going to be some that hang around,
Yeah, but
it was great.
It's definitely taken a beating, which is a good thing.
Yeah. And I think Blake Lively, she's a mean girl. She's just a mean girl.
Totally. I'm so team Justin on this.
Me too. I totally am too. And I think, and I don't even I don't want to be on the side of a guy with a man bun, you guys. It pains me.
I know.
But that's the thing. I'm forced to do that because she is awful.
I told you this whole segment is going to be juicy, and it is. Lots of different stories. And one in particular that we talked about, I guess, last week when it broke is this whole Ashley St. Clair being the new baby mama to Elon's 13th child. And we showed you how many of the popular conservative influencers were falling all over themselves to congratulate her, to say how great this was, to be full on, yay, you, Ashley, go girl.
Right.
And you and I were like,
no,
ew.
It's it's really ew. It's like the second time she's done it. I feel like she's a bit of a gold digger, and that is what it is.
Right. And there were so many questions about her methodology of coming forward. Anyway, it was just all just a weird thing. And so we were very, very happy to find that one of our girl crushes, Megyn Kelly, seemed to have the same view of the situation as we did. And she was even more forthcoming.
She says the things, and I love her for that. I do.
Yes. Here she is with her take on that situation.
Using Elon of impregnating her and not, I guess, negotiating with her on the care of the child, or at least not to the point where she's happy with the negotiation. She's upset about the privacy, that the tabloid's coming. And the next day, after the tweet hits, she poses for a full spread in the New York Post in like her sexy wear, the pictures of her. Yeah. Like she's wearing a corset and this is her in this like swanky New York apartment, which is described as like lavish. Here she is with the floor to ceiling windows and the great views.
Mm-hmm.
And I all I can think as I look at this is your life is the way it is because you decided it would be.
Right.
Because of your choices, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Like you set it up this way. I posted on Twitter. You can have a swanky New York apartment. You could earn money and actually wind up renting one yourself. You could also find a man who wants to marry you and raise children with you and who won't have other women in his life at the same time. All of this is available to you. Not just her, but any woman. You do not have to make a choice where you try to bang the billionaire to get his baby so that he'll put you up in some lavish New York City apartment and take care of you for the rest of his life and then be shocked when he doesn't actually want to have a relationship with you. And the only way you can maybe get him to respond to you is via tweet. I'm sorry, but again, you made choices. They were very bad ones. And these are the consequences of that.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that.
Damn.
You can earn money on your own. You know, you can actually do that. You don't have to. It's kind of grifty. And it's grifty.
Yeah.
Also, make thoughtful choices this year. Thoughtful ones, good ones. Visit ReadyWise.com. Use promo code Chicks20 at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase. You know, I know that a lot of people feel like they're super safe now that Trump is in office, but you guys, there's disasters, there's camping, there's all sorts of stuff that you could use ReadyWise for. Plus, the food is just really awesome. If you just want to have like really yummy soups and yummy food and stuff like that, visit ReadyWise.com, use promo code Chicks20, get 20% off. Do it.
I want you to play a part here in reading the part of George Santos. You guys remember George Santos? George Santos was a Republican congressman who like filled his face with Botox, lied about almost everything, including his background. He defrauded people out of money. He's just kind of an awful, awful person. And he is apparently besties with Ashley St. Clair.
Oh, you know, figure. Just as a side note, yesterday I told our team that I think he reminds me of the gay guy in Legally Blonde. You guys remember? And he was like, "Don't tap your last season Prada shoes at me, bitch." Remember?
Yes.
Remember? That's who he is to me. That's who he reminds me of. He just has that kind of attitude about him. So knowing that these two are like BFFs actually doesn't shock me.
Well, he was not happy with Meghan's, what you just heard from Meghan. And so when Meghan tweeted that video, he responded to it. And so please read for our audience what he said.
Megyn Kelly, the woman in question, is my friend. She has worked hard for years and built a career for herself and has never needed a man to support her. Matter of fact, she's lived in swanky New York City apartments for years at her own dime. The suggestion that she slept with a man and had a baby in exchange for a good life not working is insulting and wrong. I think people should sit back and stop opining on a story without any base knowledge on the matter. Ashley didn't have her kid alone. Last I checked, she wasn't impregnated by the Holy Spirit, the Holly Spirit. Please respect that there is a kid involved and stop saying these awful things for views and clicks. Ashley is a strong, independent woman, an award-winning director, an author and former editor of the largest satire site in the country. She's a phenomenal mother of 2 children and dedicates her life to them. Anyone saying anything else is 100% not in the know. Okay.
And then he went on to say, you can read this next one as well.
There was more. She wasn't afforded privacy when the dirty rag Daily Mail was coming out with a bombastic story in hours. She got ahead of it the best she could to control the narrative.
And that's where I was just like, I'm done here. I'm going to need to have some say in this. And so I wrote back to George and we had a tiny back and forth. But what I said to him was just some questions that I think are very natural questions. And I said, so the question is, so what if the Daily Mail had come out with the story? Honestly, Ashley would have seemed more sympathetic if the story had come out about her instead of her doing a full interview and like glamorous photo spread in the New York Post. She could have at least actually seemed like she meant it about wanting privacy had she just not said anything. And exactly how was she forced into silence? Because unless she was held at gunpoint, this makes no sense unless she's seeking a lot of money. Elon's going to have to pay child support regardless. So why couldn't she talk to anyone that she wanted to? Was it because she's negotiating for more money?
Yes.
Do you see why this looks like such a gold digger move to the average person?
Yep. All great
I think
questions.
these are reasonable, right?
Yeah, we'd love, that'd be great to have an answer to that since she's putting herself out there, you know? Okay.
Well, here's what he said. He said, as someone who knows the facts, I assure you, you have it wrong.
That's
And
it.
I was
That's
like,
all he said.
that does not answer the question at all, which is why people will continue to speculate about her motives. This is
Right.
not hard. This is not hard
It's
at
not
all.
hard. It isn't hard at all. Yeah. And nobody forced her to do those things. I know a lot of people, my mother-in-law is one of them, who raised a really great kid on her own, you know, because the man walked away. And Elon's not walking away. He's going to actually pay her. But like, there is a bit of a negotiating feel here.
Yep.
And that is, you cannot claim to be a victim when you're put up at some lavish New York City apartment, you know, with your 2 kids, one of which is from another man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just an interesting thing, lots of unanswered questions. And so, you don't get to tell Megyn Kelly to stop opining about it because there's a baby involved. Ashley has brought the attention to her by doing that story.
Right.
And so we're going to opine as much as we want.
There's going to be some opining.
All right, moving on to the next sex power story. Because there's a lot of them in this segment.
Sex and power.
Yeah. So this is interesting. There was a video that went viral yesterday of a woman, I think it was in the UK somewhere, or maybe I just made that up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. She's getting ready to go on a run. And she posted this video of a guy as she's tying her shoes or whatever. She's bent over, she's wearing leggings. And so this guy ogles her butt and like makes some comments about her butt, like nice butt. Thank you for the view, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And she is so distraught over this that she can barely make it through a run without tears as she talks about it. Here it is, and then we'll discuss.
Good sight.
You're filming yourself, like on the.
Not gonna lie, I'm not feeling very nice because of what that man just said. I just hate stuff like that. It makes me feel really horrible. So I just gotta keep running through it.
Gotta keep running through it.
You can tell she's not a Gen Xer.
Oh my God, so fragile.
So fragile. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest, and I'll probably get killed for this, but if I were bending over and some guy said nice ass to me, I'd be like, thanks.
I know, same.
That's maybe it's just the age we are. I honestly think a lot of it has to do with being in that generation as opposed to our generation. It's just, so what? If a guy like cat calls, I'd be like, that's sweet. Thanks. Come on,
but that's how this generation has been conditioned because they grew up in the Me Too movement, and they have been told, thanks to Ashley Judd and other psychos, that if you are catcalled, that is sexual assault.
Oh my God.
That is literally a form of sexual assault, sexual harassment, the whole 9 yards. And so they've been conditioned to think, oh my God, I'm a victim of this man's compliments.
Right. And sometimes it's just that a dude being a dude making a compliment, like giving you a compliment. That's all it is. Yes, Mock. I mean, that's it. And it drives me nuts because listen, there are some jerk guys out there that are kind of skeevy, but what happened there? He was just like, nice butt, you know, you're bending over filming something
in leggings.
Right.
You're bending all the way over.
So much pearl clutching in that generation. So much.